Well, hey guys, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Today we're looking at another robot spirits, and that's going to be this RGM-79SP GM Sniper 2. This is from 0080 War in the Pocket, and I'm currently doing a review series of that right now, so if you're interested, check that out. But yeah, let's take a look at this thing. And just before I get started, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe and like. There is a link in the description for a giveaway. I'm doing two things I'm giving away as soon as I hit 600. Now, if by the time you're watching this, I've hit 600 subscribers, there is another giveaway I'm doing of 2 items, so you have a greater chance to win. So yeah, be sure to do that. Thanks. All right, and taking a look here before I kind of strip them down. Really cool GM. You know, the GMs are always awesome. This one's specifically a sniper, so yeah, he's got a sniper rifle. Comes with shield and some other accessories. You know, this is an earlier release in the Robot Spirits line and not alongside some of the newer 0080 that have come out. So it kind of has a different plasticky feel to it. It's almost, how would I say, almost like the rubbery plastic feel, not as, I don't know how to explain it. Not like the harder plastic that tends to be coming out now with the newer ones. But yeah, let me take off the accessories and we'll look at the articulation. All right, and here he is. Let's kind of take a look at the sculpt here. Very cool looking how it's kind of got the little visor here. And yeah, just, I mean, straight out of the anime, this is a Ver anime, so that kind of lends to that, of course. But taking a look at it here, this is some area that I would, if it was a model kit, I'd probably panel line. But there's enough detail around this where, again, it almost looks like, you know, an older Robot Spirits, but it's not, it's missing some of the newer elements from the newer ones. So yeah, let's take a look at articulation. All right, at the head here, so we have 2 things going on here. We have the top of the neck and the bottom. You can kind of see, so that gives it a lot of range. And, you know, one thing, I did get this used, but whether these older ones were like this or not, the articulation is actually very smooth. It doesn't feel like I have to work anything or feel like something's going to break when I move it. Yeah, but the head turns around very easily. I'm like barely pressing it, although it's not loose. So that just means it's very smooth. It would let me know if it's going to rub against something. Let's see how high it looks up. And it's not too much. The down, yeah, that's quite a bit there, so that's pretty cool. It's got this antenna here that doesn't really move or do anything, but it also has this articulated visor. There's not too much movement to it, so you move that up. That's the little the camera detectors that they use, and then the visor is like right underneath that. So not too much there, but enough where it's cool and it's noticeable. So with the shoulders, we can see the joints that are on the top that allow it to move up quite a bit. Yeah, even separate from, sort of separate actually from the arms. So it gets to a point where the arms can keep going up actually, and so that's quite high. Higher than some of the newer ones I've seen. It's got a rotation at the bicep. That one, it's a little tough. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. I don't feel like I should work it too much. It looks like it would be easy for it to rub against these parts here. Double elbow moves up all the way and very nicely done. The hand on the ball joint like we typically see. So a lot of the typical articulation when it comes to the arms. It doesn't have the new articulation we see in the engineering where the chest moves in to allow the dual grip or whatever you'd like to call it. So that would be limited here, although there is just enough in the shoulders where it does a little bit. But again, a little more limited than what we're seeing nowadays. All right, down at the abdomen, let's see. Doesn't really seem to... There is some forward. And we can see there's 2 areas where the articulation would be here. Yeah, there's that. And then within the waist there, it goes down too. So, but it's not a lot actually at all. And it goes back quite a bit though, so I guess you can kind of do some laying down with a sniper rifle. Yeah, the head here doesn't go up too high, so it's kind of limited. I haven't really planned any poses like that, but that's what we're seeing. The waist, let's see, that, yeah, does 360, and it can rub up against that front, so just be careful of that. Side skirts, looks like it's on Yeah, a ball joint down there. It looks like it can come off easy. I'm not going to try unless it does it on its own. And then the front as well. Oh, yeah, that goes up quite a bit. And that's on possibly a ball joint that goes into the side there. The back, that does not move at all. Yeah, no thruster movement either. And let's see. So it almost looks like we're seeing, you know, just for clarification, there's 3 different pieces of the abdomen to give it its range of motion, although that could be more for the construction of this action figure rather than its deliberateness of articulation, because it doesn't allow it too much range. It reminds me of that latest Thousand Toys Master Chief, where as you move the abdomen, some part moves and then the other part does. And it kind of gives it that twist look to it. Let's see. So the legs, they move out quite a bit, even without having to move the side skirt. Not that that would be an in-canon pose right there. You never know. I guess it could break and fall down like that. I don't know. Let's see. So with the swivel here, so yeah, it's a piece. There's the ball joint of the leg. It doesn't have that. What is it? There's that piece we're seeing in a lot of newer figures where you can actually move the leg up and down, like pull down to get it out of this way of the skirts. But it has this other piece that goes into the thigh there for that swivel. So it doesn't swivel all the way, but I think it's good enough. And so the knee, I don't know if you can catch it on camera, but this knee piece is definitely a different plastic, not only in color, but feel. Whereas this is more rubbery. Like I feel like if I was to dig my nail into it, it would make a mark. And this is like a harder plastic. I don't know if that was done on purpose, but yeah, that articulates on its own in multiple ways. You can even see the hinge there for that. So that's very interesting. That allows it, yeah, to bend its knee nearly all the way and go up quite a bit. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then down at the feet, I always like when you can see like the pistons down in the feet, but yeah, the feet, there's a lot of articulation there. So we can see the back. Oh, wow. And this kind of opens up and looks really cool, actually. Yeah, so you can move that up. Wow, look at that. I like that. I don't think I've seen that quite that often, but that's a really cool, I guess, depending on what you're trying to get them to do. A little silly, but a little cool. I don't know. I like that. Because, yeah, that means that, yeah, it's very interesting. There's a lot of newer robot spirits where the toes just move down and go down a whole lot, where that doesn't make as much sense as something like this. I can see when you're flying, but that would be more of the whole foot, not necessarily the toes. But when you're maybe walking and needing to, yeah, it even looks like, you know, you're seeing within the frame of the mobile suit, and it just looks good. So yeah, a lot of side to side. Yeah, there's a lot of articulation with the feet. Very well done, I gotta say. And then the little foot guard that's on here, it's typical with some of these Federation suits, so that moves up and down fine. So, you know, I got to say, on all, the articulation on this is good. There's a little bit of dated elements to it, but I don't think it takes away of, you know, the ability of what you can do with it. And in fact, it even has some cool articulation points that are kind of gone in more newer robot spirits. So yeah, let's take a look at accessories. All right, so it comes with 2 beam sabers that actually plug in the back like this. As cool as that is, and it actually is pretty snug, there's been times where they've fallen out without me realizing it. It is in there pretty good, but I think just enough pushing, and again, while it doesn't push back here, I think just enough of maybe the leg hitting it or something else can just knock them off. So I was to put it in there. Like, I guess it's not coming off easily right now because I am filming this, but let me assure you, you should be careful. And for those beam sabers, we've got the beam saber blade, so always fun to have those effect parts. We've got this shield here, and this is kind of an older engineering for the shield. It's got the 3 points instead of like any sliding, where it has this mechanism that plugs in on the forearm, and it has you know, a hard point, and you can actually pull this piece off. Oops. And attach it wherever you would like on there, depending on how you have it on the arm. And you can actually see where there is a hard point on there, where it actually plugs in on the forearms there. And funny story, just a day or 2 after I got this thing, I dropped this under my desk. And that was a few months ago, and I thought it was gone forever because I vacuum under there frequently. But just the other day, I got a new desk, was doing some cleaning up underneath where I was rearranging the cables, and I found it. And you know how happy that makes me to find a piece. And it's funny because, this is how obsessed I am. Every few days, I would think to myself, as much as I like that GM Sniper 2, I lost a piece to it, and who am I? All right, and here is the main point of this, is the sniper rifle looks good, ver anime for sure. The paint applications are great on this because it really keeps it separated. It just looks really good, and even though we have these little lines in here, I think it's thin enough of paint application, but big enough to where it still looks a little detailed, even though there is no panel lining or anything on there. But it looks good. That the silver paint on the gun, it just looks great. Really good. And then something else that's typical with the older Robot Spirits is it has a separate connector piece for the stand. Again, I prefer when it's included, part of the figure itself, but it's just something else to lose. But yeah, it's cool that we got it. And then for the hands, no hand tree like the older ones don't have, but we've got the trigger finger, we've got a closed fist, we've got an open dynamic hand that can, hold the barrel of a gun or do some other dynamic poses. And then we've got the beam saber hand. It's the fist, but can hold a beam saber. And just to take a look at the included instructions, showing the hands that it comes with, showing where you put the beam sabers, showing the visor has the articulation, and then how that shield connector system works. And how to have it hold the gun to make it look cool and some cool little pose here. So, yeah, not much to the instructions, but enough cool information. Something to add that I didn't really detail. While the hands are on a ball joint, the joint actually within it has a lot of range. This is good for beam sabers, even how it wants to hold the sniper rifle. So hopefully you can see that. There's really a lot of range there. It's pretty good. All right, here we go with a pose here, just kind of showing holding the gun, got the beam saber in, the shield. Doesn't come with a lot of accessories, but for the ones it does have, they all work great together and really no issue. All right, there we have it. That's the GM Sniper 2 from 0080. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have this? Do you have actually the Gunpla version? I know for sure there's a master grade. I don't know if it's an RE100 or not, but let me know in the comments what you think, even what you think about it in the anime, how it shows up, and has it shown up in any other UC Gundam, perhaps? Anyway, hopefully you like this, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.